Hello. I wanted to do a really quick video on how to feel. So, a really big part of being a therapist and helping people get to some of their core issues or release some of the emotions or traumas which we store in our body is trying to get people to feel. And so this is way more complicated than it needs to be, because a big part of it is that we have to step outside of our minds and get into our bodies. And this can be very difficult for our left brain logics or just people that get stuck in their own narratives. So this is hard to do. What we can start to do in our practice and starting to feel is we can elicit. So think of something unpleasant that we've experienced, something uncomfortable to bring up the emotions. And so I find that when we engage in this practice, it's easier than when we're suddenly triggered. You can also do that too. So if you notice that you experience a trigger, it can feel like a rush, a sensation through the system. If you can take a moment to actually just focus on that when it comes up, this is how we feel. So what happens is we naturally, when we get a trigger or we start to feel something unpleasant or uncomfortable, is we start to connect with the inner story or the narrative that's rooted in a deep-rooted belief usually. And so a lot of times we get caught in this narrative of I've messed up, I'm no good, or I'm difficult to love, or things like that. And so when you notice that you start to go into your mind and into the story, you need to stop, because you are thinking and you are not feeling. And so sometimes I even say to myself, like, stop. And then what we do is we actually take a moment to go inside. So we redirect and notice the sensations in your body, because this is where there's information that's stored. And so you might notice, when I'm feeling low, like it activates my gut, or when I'm feeling anxious, it activates my chest. And so really try to pinpoint the specific sensation, because that's what we want to connect with in order to feel. We can take a moment to breathe into the sensation. So we just start by doing some conscious breaths. A slow inhale, you may hold it, and then a deeper exhale. And just start to really notice the sensation. Allow it to be in your system for a moment, because a lot of times we try to push it away or pretend like it's not there. So we're noticing and we're just allowing it to be. And of course, your thoughts will start to try to wander, and that's okay. It's about redirecting back. So, oh no, I'm thinking about, how am I going to pay this bill? Or, I'm going to do this again in my relationship. Wait a second, my mind has wandered and I need to bring it back to the feeling. So the feeling is in my chest and I need to focus on that. And we repeat that process as many times as we need until we really connect with that sensation. Another big piece is that we need to trust that our feelings, they will subside. They can be powerful and they can be overwhelming, but we can move through it. And I think a really big part of this is reminding ourselves that whatever we have experienced in the world, like, we have lived through, because we're here today. And so you can trust that your emotions will pass, and we might even start to recognize as individuals when we start to allow ourselves to feel, it empties the system, and we recognize that we're stronger than we give ourselves credit for. So just some information on feeling. We want to breathe, notice it, allow it to be, redirect our thoughts back into our body, and just repeat that practice as many times as we need. That's all for now.